Everyone, and welcome to Awaken God's Child YouTube channel. I am here with my co-host Candy Nelson, the wonderful, the great Candy Nelson, right here with me. And tonight we're bringing to you, if you haven't, not able and capable of seeing the title, it says "Red Heifers and the Signs of the Times." So I'm going to start out kind of slow with this. I'm not going to go too deep. We don't have a lot of time, but most of you are aware that the red heifers have been delivered to Israel. And most of you that I know and I'm friends with and speak to often all know that, we've always felt like Morgellons is a big portion and signs of, maybe the Lord's return as well. Not him doing this by any means, but, there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. And then it talks about the angst among nations and people. And it also speaks about the red heifers and Numbers. What did I say that was, Kenny? Numbers 13. I'm drawing a blank. I'm exhausted. I've been working, helping my parents move today, and I'm so spent. Okay, Numbers 19. Sorry, 1 through 2. So I'm just going to leave that up to you guys to look that up, and if you feel within your hearts that you are there too, because I mean I myself have had dreams and visions and whatnot, stuff that's never happened to me before, except for the time I came down with Morgellons. I started having, I would say things that I don't even know where it came from, but I mean, knowledgeable things that I know that the knowledge wasn't from me. So, and then dreams and whatnot. And I mean, I felt for a while that we are in the days of Noah. No other way to put it politely. But the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear. No, He did not. And we are here to thrive as long as we can. We're here to bring our brothers and sisters forward, lift them up, help them heal, and support each other. And that's the main number one thing. So we're not here to focus on, oh no, everything's going to break loose. I know everyone's been thinking before the 25th, something big is going to happen. I myself have been with dreams that it was happening today, the 23rd. Not even near the same as what everyone else's was. I saw 5 Black Hawk helicopters fly over today, and I knew it. I even told my daughter the day before, I'm like, tomorrow there's going to be helicopters flying right over our house, and they did today. And I told her also, I said, I'm not sure what it's got to do with, but I think I know. And I didn't go any further because she's 17 and she's young, and I don't want to put and instill fear. Because this is nothing to fear. We already know who we are, how much we have in us as far as love and faith and spirit goes and courageousness. I mean, look at us. Look at how far we've come and what we've conquered already. And it's almost like we have been being prepared this whole time for that day, right? Almost like, because think about it, those that aren't sick, right, Candy? They're not courageous, really. They're not. They might believe they are, and they probably do have a sense of it, right? But this brings out courage like you have never seen. Am I right? So, and I would like your thoughts on that too, as well. I'm sorry, I just kind of had to start this out on a slower note. I didn't want to just bam and like, everybody run, get under your desk, go hide, get under your bed, don't even come out. It's not like that. So, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I can just tell you, it's like I said, when I was at my wit's end and I was just dying. I was just dying. And I was like, Lord, you have to help me. And it's like, next thing you know, fight fire with fire. And so it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, if you just finally are just like, you've exhausted everything you have in you. And it doesn't matter whether or not you've prayed all your life or believed in God all your life or anything. It's like, if you just put yourself at His mercy and just say, I just need help. And yeah, and I mean, the most amazing things have happened to me this week. And I'm just telling you, it's just like, again, I'm like, I told you before, I've got this, not a fear of flying. And I told my doctor this yesterday. I said, I don't have a fear of flying.
Not being in and out.
My fear is not having an escape route. When my feet are off the ground, it's like, you
Where
know,
do you go?
because I've had to run all my life.
You bring your
And
parachute,
so,
Andy. We can just bring a parachute. Well, actually,
but
that's what I do. I love to skydive, so but
well,
don't do
I
that if
found
you don't
this
want
little
to.
book. I found this little book at Five Below, right? And it's 175 plus immune system hacks.
Wow,
And
I was just there. Well, my daughter was just there today.
yeah, but listen, check this
Oh,
out. So I'm reading through this because it's like little 1 page, 2 page little hacks. I'm reading through it, and it talked about in the book the radiation frequencies inside a plane. And so I just bought this book. And so it was saying that, because you're inside the plane, you're closer to the sun, and all the electronics that go on with inside a plane, that the frequencies and everything can't escape. So you're like in there. Well, I told you I got
can't
sick.
be any worse though there than it is in our homes.
But
Can't be.
the funny part about it is like, okay, first of all, again, I've never been on a plane. My fear is not being.
Yeah, they're trying that. Don't let that scare you because
Yeah, it
there's
doesn't
towers
scare me.
around us now.
It doesn't scare me. My fear is I've always had to have
No,
an escape route. And so, but my point being is I got that book and I'm reading that about the EMF frequencies inside the plane. I was like, damn, I got a blocking hat. Okay. I was like,
yay, Elena, Kyle, thank
yeah, I
you.
know. And so I took my
Yes.
hat with me to my doctor's appointment yesterday. I was like, you see this little hat? I told him, I was like, it's got 3 layers of that EMF blocking fabric in it. He's like looking at it. And I said, let me read you this little paragraph I found in this little book that I just got from Five Below. So I read that little paragraph to him about the frequencies inside the plane. He's like, looking, he's like, interesting. And so I was telling him another one of the hacks was that for inflammation, like my legs have been broke out and itching so bad that you get into a cold shower for 2 minutes. I did that before I went to the doctor's office. Well, guess what? My legs were not itching. And I'm like, so I was telling him the different things that are in this book. And I was like, can I leave this in your lobby? He's like, no. He said, I'll put that in my office.
Yeah, you go, baby. Doctor needs some, some real expert advice there. It's called common sense, but because they have to go by coding and this medical
He said,
conditioning system,
yeah, he's like,
the doctor.
that'll go in my library, in my office.
Awesome. I love that, and I love you for thinking to leave it with them.
Yeah, and
Open minds are happening.
it's
They
no
are.
I'm gonna have to borrow that book.
That's so cool. I love that. I'm so thrilled every time I hear stories like that with the breakthroughs with doctors, especially because I'm going to tell you, 90% of us with this we've had poor experiences. And you guys got to understand, this woman has been at this for 20 years. An approach is the key, and her approach. Not only that, she's just like, hey, no for no answer. Nope, we're not taking no for an answer. Here's what it's gonna be. She'll chase her little butts down the hall until she'll tackle them like a freaking 6'2" football player if she's got it. But they listen because her approach is correct, but also she uses knowledgeable, thought in it when she presents it with respect towards the doctor as well. And it's impressive, Candy. I mean, I love hearing that because you've made huge breakthroughs for us that, suffer from this. And so many people, I talk to people daily that have Lyme disease, but they're also describing all the components with Morgellons disease or autoimmune disease individuals. It seems like it's weird because lately I've been meeting and running into so many individuals with either an autoimmune of some sort, which you and I know, what that's about, or Lyme disease, which you and I know. But I mean, you can't just go throw them under the bus. Like, yep, you've got nanotechnology, and yeah, it's probably an alien invasion. you can't do that because we don't even know. But what we do know is it shouldn't be here.
Right.
It is above and beyond what we could comprehend. Correct.
Another thing too, when I was in the doctor's office, I was like, let me show you this little book. I said, I'm just going to tell you that every time, no matter what it is, if I need something, God puts it in front of me. And so I brought God into my doctor's appointment. I said, God puts it in front of me. I said, I don't even go to Five Below. My husband
And
wanted
there
me.
you went, and just like the jar lids and all that.
I was like, it always happens. God provides everything I need. I don't even have to ask anymore. It's
And
like,
that goes back to scripture. Be still and know that I am God. He provides, and we are so busy trying to control our own lives and try to understand, try to take control, and try to do this and that and change this or that, right? And Candy's right. Sometimes all you need be is still. Just be still because he loves us and he's going to take care of it. It was never about our way and our wants and how we want to do things. Sometimes if we just let go and let God, he just somehow amazingly comes out and everything falls into place. But I also want people to be aware too that just because you don't always get what you want either, because they're like, well, that's not what I asked them for. That doesn't mean anything. That just means just because you thought you needed it and you thought you wanted it doesn't mean that his plans for that. Because maybe there is a larger and there is a much larger, bigger picture. So if you suffer from something or there's a prayer you feel like that wasn't answered into your liking, that means nothing. That just means there's a greater picture being
yeah.
painted, and it's big because you're big. You're so big and important,
And
but
look at like when, I had that bad doctor, and I'm like, I had to get in his face and argue with him, but and risk everything because my husband kept saying, you need to calm down. They're gonna pack you away somewhere.
that was
Like,
me. Guilty.
I'm like, I was like, no, we're not doing this, and so
Not
yeah, I
really.
jumped
You should
back
have
in his
to.
face and I screamed and I yelled, and he refused to see me again. But rather than get angry and everything, I was like, well, okay, well, somebody needs to go over these reports with me.
And I'm
Well,
writing notes like, you're gonna
no,
pay, little brat.
well, no, but I'm saying because of I stood
Yes.
up and fought back, I got a better doctor out of
That's
it.
exactly, because you handled it exactly accordingly, and you let go and you let God as well. You didn't get aggravated. You didn't I'm telling you, I was out for blood when I was taken away from my child and locked away for 3 days against my will because you're crazy. You have this disease, and you say that, and 700,000 of other people say the exact same thing all over the world. And you guys don't know each other. Yeah, you're definitely crazy. Like, what the f is wrong with people? It's like I'm thinking that's a little more than a coincidence. I'm just saying, oh, and we test positive for Lyme. So, let me think, Lisa. And then you show them articles, right? But with your presentation to the doctor is like, you came in prepared too with the ones that you did educate. You're like, look, this is this article. I can show you this, and then I've studied this, and this is how I know this. And I mean, these doctors are so unaware, and they have to get educated because they're not learning it in the mainstream medical. No way. So Candy's the girl for this. She's educating our doctors, and we all need to get savvy on that, But I mean, we're approaching a time anyway where we just need to be savvy, period, in general, in Scripture and in the Lord, and I know that religion's religion at the end of the day. I'm not trying to be all religious because I don't go to church. We are the church. All of us living here on earth, we are the body of Christ. We are the church. We are congregating right now. When one or two is, going together, he's there. Well, honey, let me tell you what, he's here and he's listening. And so what I'm telling you is whatever your beliefs are, keep Christ at the top of it, man, because that's look at Candace. She's like, all I had to do is just let him go, let him do his job. And he does. And he does. And we have to keep that faith and understand that it doesn't have to be our timing. But if it is, that's great, right? But it doesn't have to be because we're a bigger picture than that. We're part of one. So, so what did the doctors say on your this visit? Like, what all happened? So I'm gonna let you go with that.
We're going to talk about the red heifers first, and
I
then
did. I told him to go look up the scripture,
okay. So
I don't want to instill fear. It boils down to this. I have had dreams. I have felt it in my gut. I have had this angst about me. I have been on edge, and I feel like unsettled, and I feel like something's coming, like big. And in my head, it's the 23rd. The 23rd. I've been hearing this for months, actually. The 23rd of September. This is the 23rd. I don't know if we're going to see anything. I just think this might be the beginning, something that's getting the ball rolling. And then I did have helicopters fly over. And I just heard 3 days ago that red heifers from Texas, whatever farmer out there, you dum-dum, like, sent your red heifers to Israel, be like, I'll be gosh darn, I got me a red heifer here. Don't got no flour on it. No flour on this heifer. I'm going to send that to the Israelites. I mean, really? Because I really want to go meet you and say, what are you thinking? Are you ready to go? No, I know that's not nice because this is all part of it. But yes, we did have someone here in Texas shipped to Israel, and they landed in Israel. And they were inspected by the, oh gosh, not the Pope, but the Jewish, I'm drawing a blank. I am drawing so many blanks. It's Morgellons brain fog. So they were inspected, by the guy in charge, that little guy that's like, wears a little hat and like long beard, whatever. Like, yeah, that guy. I wasn't making fun. Sorry, God, that wasn't nice. But they were inspected. They were found to be perfect. In that scripture and in biblical prophecy, they speak that when this happens, they're, supposedly they're going to be prepared for sacrificial reasons. They're going to be sacrificing the name of the Lord and the blood of the Lamb. So when these heifers in the Bible show, which they did, that you are seeing and that Jesus is coming. Jesus is on his way. Now, I don't want to hear anyone go, oh, but nobody knows the day or the place, because my dad does that to me all the time. And I'm not trying to say I know. What I'm telling you is he gave us a handbook and he said, here's those signs that you look for upon my coming just before. These are the signs. And he writes them down, and he has his, his prophets and all of his, apostles write them down, and they were written down for us to know the signs. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've had tsunamis, earthquakes, famines, literally flooding. I mean, earthquakes all over lately. And just what I see, the disaster and devastation, and watching the little clips that I do watch of the news, because I only watch the news to keep up with what the agenda is of the elitists. But I see these families with such great loss. And, a lot of you will also say this, because I hear this too. Well, we've always had earthquakes and floods, and we've always had, yeah. We have, but not like this, and not when you can clearly see, that there is a shift on your planet. Your Earth has clearly shifted, and not to mention that, the poles are off. We are having more solar flares. The sun is shooting solar flares at us daily, but we have a big one on its way right now that was just emitted this morning early, actually. A huge one, bigger than most, and it's coming straight at us right now. Okay, so on top of that, I'm not trying to instill fear. I'm saying prepare your houses, put your houses in order. Be ready. The Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, but all these signs are taking place. They're taking place right now, and they're very present. And I mean, I just can't even stand to look at another person that tries to call us crazy with what we're screaming about, what we're going through. And yet they believe in the Bible, but then you coordinate all these things because these things all fold into a big picture. And I believe with all my heart, I've always known this actually from the moment I showed the symptoms that Morgellons is just it's a very small part of a huge significant picture, and this is just that big, even though it feels like our whole world's crumbled and it's everything, we should all be focused just this way on this. No, we've been wrong. Not to be just on this. It's to be on God, eyes on him, faith in him, and there's a reason it's happening to us, and we were prepared to be strengthful, and this has made us strengthful because we got to help our brothers and sisters through this, right? We got to help each other, but we have to be strong for them, because look at them. They're like little toddlers just wearing Pampers still. I'm sorry, but, they're barely walking, and we're running. So I'm going to leave it at that. So I say my red heifer speech, Candy. And again, no fear, not for fear. Just prepare your houses, get your house in order, and just believe and have faith, because he loves you and we're fine. So I want to hear your good news. We're going to end this on a happy note.
Oh, lots of good news this week. So this is my 6-month checkup. Well, my nurse, I don't know if you remember, about a year and a half ago, remember when I made up those little care packages for my doctor and my nurse and all, and I made soaps and salves and made the little boxes, and I gifted it to them. Well, so that was the last time I saw her. I haven't seen her since. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I didn't know if she was like fired or if she quit, or I didn't know because, people come and go. And so I never said anything, I was just like, okay. So anyway, I went for my regular appointment the other day, and I go in and she's like, hey, she's like, I have missed you. Where you been? And I'm like, no, where you been? So they got a new doctor at their facility, and she had to work with him to get him broke in. And so she's been at the main office rather than the substation where I go. Anyway, so she was back and she told me, she's like, well, I don't know if you heard me telling the other guy that the doctor had to stop by the hospital and he's going to be late. I was like, good, that'll give us time to catch up. So we go in the room. We go in the room and I was talking to her. She sat there and she said to me, oh my God, she's like, I am so sorry that you guys are treated the way you are and everything you've been through. And she's like, I cannot believe every time I see you, she's like, you're always so full of life and excited. And, she's like, you're always so positive. And I was like, well, that's not what my daughter told me a few months ago. And I was telling her about it.
You are positive. I love it.
She's like, oh no. She's like, wow. She's like, I'm so sorry that she said you've been treated so badly medically and all the things you've been through. And she's like, and people are having these, hey, Kat, she said, people are being treated the way they are that have this condition. And I said, yeah, I was like, and I said, I wrote this letter to myself and I let her read that Dying to Live.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
She read it and her eyes watered up. She's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm going to cry. She said, I cannot believe this. I was like, yeah. I was like, but
many of us going through that.
It's not about sympathy. I never want sympathy.
I did at first. I'm like, what's the matter with you guys? Come on, I
told her that. I told her that. I said, in the beginning, I was like, why me, God? Why not me?
It's terrifying, right? But then there you go. Why not me? And that's what I've always said too. Why not me? I got big girl panties up to my ears, man. I can wear these things.
When she read that thing that I wrote, Dying to Live, she was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, this is amazing. And so I was telling her about the day that I gave her the card to the doctor and that he told the receptionist to put it in my file. And I was like, oh no, put this in your.
No, but you did. And, I love that.
She's like, oh, y'all do a YouTube thing? I was like, yeah, we try to do it on Friday nights. She's like, I need to know that channel. I need to go watch it. And I was like, yes. So it was just an amazing appointment. I love them. I love him. I love her. And I'm like, oh my God. And
I'm
again,
so happy. That's awesome. So happy. That's a blessing right there. That's such a blessing. It's a beautiful blessing.
And I pulled up my pants leg and I showed him, my legs have been broke out so badly, but I had a couple of fibers like that was underneath the skin that haven't come out yet. And they're like, you can see they're blue up underneath the skin.
Did he look?
And I showed my doctor and he's like, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah.
They're like, okay, I want some pizza for lunch. Yeah. That's the mentality I get. Like they go on like nothing just happened, even though it shouldn't. Like that should make everyone like go screaming out the door, running like beating feet as hard as they can go. That's how terrifying it should be. But everyone's like, oh man, that's crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna make an apple pie for dinner. Can't wait. I love me some Dutch apple pie. This is like,
and then he's guys. And then I was telling him that, I found that little book from Five Below. And I said, it's kind of funny. I was like, God just kind of gives me what I need. So I did bring God into the appointment. And, I was like, and so I showed him my little EMF 3-layer blocking hat. And I was like,
Elena Kyle.
Did I mention this earlier or was it when we were talking on the phone? Did I do it in the podcast?
On the phone.
Okay. So anyway, so I told him about this little hat and I showed it to him. And I said, I've never been on a flight before. And
no, you did say it. I'm sorry. Yes. Go ahead, though, because people are still listening. So go ahead.
So I said, so it's not that I have a fear of flying, it's I have a fear of not having an escape route. And so anyway, I was like, but I said, I found this little book at Five Below for $5. And I was like, I was reading it, and there's this part in here that talks about the radio frequencies and the radiation and the EMF signals inside a plane. I was like, but I got my little hat here, and I showed it to him, and he was like, I said, yeah, my friend makes these. And so he's like, well, that's interesting. And he's like, can you read me the part of the book about the plane, what it says? And I read that little paragraph to him, and he's like, that's really cool. So anyway, I was
That's
like,
good.
can I leave this in your lobby? He's like, no. He's like, I will keep that in my library, in my office.
That
So
is awesome. Yeah, it goes back to like, she's making breakthrough to people in the medical field that have been conditioned and are told to only go off of their material, their teachings and their doctrines. And here's Candy, and she's like, well, looky here. I'm just letting it out. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to tuck that away in my office. That's a big breakthrough, and that's a blessing. And you mentioned God, and God's like, yeah, doctor, you better say thank you. Put that in your office. And that's kind of how it works, guys.
I
I mean,
know.
there's rewards everywhere. We just sometimes don't see them because, well, when it's really dark and raining hard, sometimes it is hard to see if that rain does clear eventually. And sometimes even if it doesn't, well, like when they say dance in the rain, I'm like, I'll probably look like a beach whale if I do, but something like that. Just make the fun and the joy that you can. And that's
Well,
awesome.
even the nurse was like, she's like, I'm gonna have to borrow that little book from him. I'm like, yes.
I love that. It's like, I mean, I sent my daughter to Five Below today to return something that I used for my my private investigations. It was like a little phone holder that doesn't work. Okay, so I wish I would have spoken to you earlier. I should have called you earlier because I would have had her grab that. I'd love to take a look. Because I mean, those are the Lord gave us all the things we ever needed here on earth, like natural remedies. Like all of our supplies have always been from here, always.
Well,
And
one of the other hacks was to build your immune system that you take a cold shower every day for at least 2 minutes, nothing but cold water. So I was thinking, okay, well, it's supposed to help with inflammation. My legs were itching so bad; they were totally inflamed. I
don't like that now from helping my parents move. So cold shower, you say?
For 2 minutes, nothing but cold water.
I know where I'm going right after this, man. It's like holy water, right? Rain on me.
It worked. It worked. I took a shower.
Dusty, and I had to contact all that.
And I did it in cold water, and it's like when I got there, my legs were not itching, and I was like, "That's
man, I need to try that."
Yeah, I told the doctor about that one too. I was like, "It worked."
I'll be right back. I was just gonna go get in the shower and I'll let you know how I feel.
I'll be back 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think once I get in that water, I'm gonna want to stand there. I'm so miserable, hot, sweaty. It's hot here in Texas, so hot and muggy. But that cold shower thing, if that works, I itch from head to toe because when you move someone, there's dust everywhere, under the furniture, on it, everywhere.
In all honesty, I did use some of my clove soap in there too while I was at it. So
yes, yes. So now I know what I'm going to be using: cold shower, clove soap. And I'm probably going to be singing. I'm sure I'm going to be singing.
Well, I told my husband, when I used to tell you, it's like that time when I got in the shower and I was like, something's missing. And I was like, oh, I'm not screaming. But I told him, I was like,
oh, I'm not screaming.
I said, I'm back to the screaming showers because my legs are like, ah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, I am hurting. Like my neck, I don't know if you can see it on here, but I mean, I have this huge, like this, and I won't even go into any detailing because all of you out there that have this know what can emerge, and it's never the same. It's never the same. So just going to leave it at that, but I'm going to say, yeah, it's enough to freak anyone out. And probably why they did haul me away because of, it does sound crazy, doesn't it? But I mean, throw logic out the window, folks. Those of you that are listening to us, throw your logic out the window. Your logic was never logic to begin with. And come to find out, there is no logic. What there is a God in Christ.
Hold on.
So
I'm going to run grab that book real quick so I can show you.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. So, guys, yeah, it's been a rough one. I mean, for all of us, right? It's been a rough ride. And we've buckled up as tight as we can. We have pulled our big girl pants and big boy pants up as high as we can. Heck, I have a wedgie for mine. I try to hike them up so high. But we're still human at the end of the day. And we still like hurt and fall and crumble. But when there's stuff like this that can ease or help ease, that's awesome. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to take myself down.
It's like the size of my hand, so.
Yeah, so I'm going to go look for that.
175 miles from there. Immune system hacks.
That is awesome. I really wish I would have told my daughter. I should have called, and I almost called you today. I should have. Always trust your gut, guys. Trust your gut, especially when you got to go to the bathroom. I just said that.
So. But what I like about it is the stuff is like, see this little short page.
So read a couple, read a short little something. Just
okay,
for giggles.
I'll read the one about the airplane if I can find it here.
I have to disagree with that one, though, because we have cell phone towers now everywhere. The radiation, we're so, according to science, we're so many millions and billions of miles away from the sun, should be irrelevant. Shouldn't be any effect at all. But I think that there's probably some great things in there.
Yeah.
I mean, not any effect. I'm just no different than what it is here on Earth is what I'm trying to say. Because mathematically, that's not even a significant difference. Mathematically, miles-wise, it's just not significant enough. We got more towers here on Earth and electronics going on around us down here, than a little airplane does. But that's just me thinking out loud. But I mean, kind of makes sense.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Okay, I cannot. Okay, I gotta put my googly eyes on because I can see we have people in the chat. They say, "Kat, I am," and I'm so glad to see you, doll. Hope you're doing okay. She says she just got back to Washington. It's been over a year since she left, and she's feeling the frequencies and that she had left there to get away from. And girl, it's bad right now everywhere for sure. She said she used lactic acid to clear her legs up. That's interesting. I have not heard that before. So, Candy, have you heard about lactic acid? That's what Kat used.
No.
She used that to clear her legs up, she said. I have to remember that.
This little book had talking about be cautious of 5G. I saw that one too.
Censorship. Censorship. That book is off of shelves. We're off Facebook. By the way, guys, we got a copyright strike. We got our last week's Friday's podcast taken down because we played that small little clip about the Kim to the M to the trail to the wells. Yeah, the guy that sings about him. So we just played it a little bit and bam, copyright strike. Gone, video gone. One more and they say they take my channel down again. So yeah, gotta love that algorithm that's like only favored to one side, doesn't give a crap about the good side or the human side. At the end of the day, us humans here, we're dying inside a little bit there, algorithm. Maybe you want to, up your game, help us out and be on the good side instead of the bad side. Just a little bug in your ear, algorithm, and learn from that.
This is the paragraph I read to my doctor. It says, when on a plane, you're exposed to high concentrations of electromagnetic stress from the plane's electric wiring, electronics, TV screens and headrests, Wi-Fi, and countless personal mobile devices. This is made
anywhere you go in this world, though, and we're not close to that little distance that a plane travels at.
It says this is made worse because planes are made of material designed to keep radiation from the sun out. But in doing so, they also keep electromagnetic radiation in.
Like our gyms, gymnasiums.
There's humidity that is 10% lower than normal, which can dry out the mucus foundation in the nose and throat, yes, that's applicable to lots of things for sure. Yeah, and then this is what it says: be cautious of 5G. This is the 5G introduced for.
We're not even supposed to say buzzword. This is for entertainment purposes only. I had to do that, Candy. Sorry, they'll take it down. So
introduced for its technological benefits. 5G. Hold on.
Hello, Mom.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Totally thought it was no dancing days.
That's alarm.
Woo-hoo! Oh, man was getting into it too. It was like not a strip tease, but I was getting ready to like moonwalk or something. Bust out my harmonica. Go me.
All right. It says introduced for its technological benefits. 5G is the fifth generation technology standard for circular networks,
Careful with that word.
implementing service areas across the world that connect to any mobile device. One of the main differences between 4G and 5G is greater speed, up to 10 gigabytes per second. On the surface, this may sound great. However, the harmful effects of EMFs, particularly on immune health, are well researched, and 5G takes these effects to the next level.
We're gonna
5G
be so taken down tonight, guys.
technology uses mainly higher frequencies than earlier technology. It will also use 600 megahertz to 6 gigahertz, but at higher intensity levels due to increasing demands for data. The higher the frequencies above 3 gigahertz are called millimeter waves and are up to 100 times stronger than 4G. These millimeter waves require a lot more cell towers positioned at more frequent points in our environment than previous cell towers, as they struggle to penetrate trees, buildings, or even rain. This has important ramifications because the severity of EMF effects is in direct proportion to your distance from a tower. The closer you are, the stronger the signal and the more harm it can cause. Many studies demonstrate that both continuous and pulse millimeter waves harm bodily tissues. In fact, millimeter wave technology at the frequencies used by this number are used by the U.S. military at higher power outputs to disperse crowds. They work by causing.
There
Listen
you go.
to
It's getting weaponized. I
this.
mean,
They work.
song.
Listen to this. They work by causing burning sensations on the skin. As yet, there is not enough research done to specify the exact immune effects of the number,
Mhm.
However, research into the biological effects of other forms of EMF and millimeter waves provides reasons to be cautious. And that's just part of that one.
Candy, I don't know about you, but it seems like we're lacking a lot of research for these really important things that go into or deal with our, human forms. Lots of research lacking, and for algorithm purposes, this is for entertainment purposes only. And by the way, it's truth. It's been written. Can't deny it. It's all over the news. We're just repeating on the stupid news channels where they're all saying the same thing, except for we just said the same thing and then we just added a little our thoughts, which is freedom of speech, man. Freedom of speech, freedom of press. Go, 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 waking guts out. So, Candy,
so you need
when you
to
said that,
you need to send her back to Five Below for you.
something with that number.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what else I was thinking? Well, you know what else I was thinking? For $5, these would make great Christmas gifts.
Heck yeah, and survival, books at that. Like you could use that at any given time. You could use it presently if there was a zombie apocalypse. Actually, I shouldn't laugh at that because if there's a zombie ant virus, then the zombie deer, like we all know it's possible, right? So I've been told this is for entertainment purposes only, but obviously, I think we all know the potential and the possibilities go for miles and stretch. And we know that we've been probably practicing a lot of this stuff for a while. So I'm not going to make fun of that zombie apocalypse, but what I'm going to tell you is that might come in handy if you were in the pretended zombie apocalypse.
Well, not only that, I don't know if you ever saw that World War Z, but the zombies are they're chasing these people, right? And all these people are running, and all these zombies are running after them. Well, there's one kid that's just standing there watching all of it, and these zombies are running right past him because guess what?
They like to prey because that's what prey does, right? They run.
He had cancer.
Oh, doesn't taste good. Well, maybe there you go. Maybe that's our blessing in disguise. Not that
exactly.
Want to eat me.
And I make jokes about that all the time. I call myself a zombie reject because guess what? They don't want a bite of this.
Well, I've always looked at it like we're still spitting it out, so we're not like anyone else. We are spitting
We're
out
different.
poison.
Yeah,
So
and
we
so
wouldn't taste good to them at all.
and like I'm like a
And
zombie
we're
wouldn't
losing
even take a
cereal,
bite
but we
out
are.
of this. They even got more brains to do that.
There you go. And I thought someone ate all their brains out too. So yeah, but truth be told, I mean, we all know Amazon has a big old clause there about that. Okay, and I mean, it's not. If you think about this, a virus or fungus, it is not too far from the truth. I mean, how could it not? Well, how could it happen? Like, the carcass of a bug walking around, and inside that bug is this fungus of fiber fungus. That's taken over the whole shell, the carcass of the insect that was once alive, with no more innards left, nothing at all of its inner self, meaning like it's just a piece of clothing, basically. And then something obviously with intelligence making this insect appear as if it is not just appear, it's still walking around and doing
Look
things.
look at the
Right.
look at the video that came up on my memories that I tagged you on with the ant.
Oh, I told you about that years ago. Like, remember I had run across the zombie ant virus, and I sent you that picture of it, and I showed you a picture of one I had, and you were telling me about that one, and you could never find it. So when you showed me that, I was like, "Holy crap!" It almost looked. Oh, well, it looked a lot like mine, except for mine wasn't near as clear because you actually were able to zoom in really good.
Yeah, and I mean you can see
Really good.
the ant and the fiber. They're like
Fighting each other.
like,
You betcha. Hold on, I'm gonna put that up. Hold on a second. So yeah, I have a video somewhere too, but I mean, I saw these. I've literally watched a grasshopper, be smushed, where its legs are like all flat. There's nothing left, and then all of a sudden, it just pulls itself up and pops away. And so, of course, me being me, I got to catch it, see what's going on. You can see these little white stringy things hanging out of it. And I started noticing this in a lot of insects. So
it's funny because I was out on my porch and I saw these Morgellons fibers, and so I was trying to retrieve those. And in the meantime, I saw this little ant, and he's walking along, and he's like he's drunk. And I was like,
that's what it looks like too. I watched this ant flop down from the tree. And they like to stay in the trees if they're normal. But what happens is that once that fungus gets on them, they plop down. Like you said, he's walking around like, "Hey guys, where am I? What happened last night?" Oh, I mean, it was almost humorous. It was sad, actually. It was really sad. And here's her video. Hold on. Let me.
Go full screen. And
all right, I'm gonna put this.
No, when you might want to drag it over to like 1 minute. I don't know if you can go full screen on that thing or not. But look at the fiber and the ant are just like it was hard because
back and forth, man.
Yeah, there's the fiber.
Oh, that's so weird. It's so great. You got a good video of that. My video was not near as clear.
No,
I mean, there was no fiber like right there that I could pick up on.
Well, he was still moving, and I'm trying to hold my scope and hold the camera too at the same time, and then the claw thing. You can see the claw.
Look at that. That's a little thing in front.
I know.
What was that? Was that part of the ant or the fiber?
Look at that.
Little guy that
got me right there.
So who's this little guy here in front?
That little thing in front. Ant. I'm not really sure.
Like, do you see him like a little head with it, like little fiber ears moving?
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that before?
I did. I
don't know what that is part of if it's the ant. Is it part of the ant?
When they oh
there's
my God.
Classic claw. There's the classic Morgellons claw right there.
Yeah, look at them trying to go after that thing.
That's crazy.
Oh. It still freaks me out
to watch
that.
Guys, this isn't right. Like, how can you guys look at us and say we're crazy? We're saying showing you stuff like this can't happen. Okay, but it is. So yeah, we understand why you don't believe, but hey, hello.
It's like they're dueling. Look at that.
Yeah, they're trying to tear it up or something. That's crazy. That is just bizarre.
It was just funny.
You guys are wondering, you can tell the fiber is the white one, right? The long white string, and then the rest is the ant.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some people may not know what they're looking at. So
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't easy, you know. Like the thing
that's
was,
good quality video there, Candy. Good job.
look, oh my God, that's
That's
like,
just bizarre. Look at that crap. What is that noise that we're hearing? Is that like, it's not the ants, right?
no, I think it was I was trying to like hold my cell phone and hold the scope
Well,
to it
no,
at the
the
same
beeping,
time.
the beeping sounds like the ding, ding.
Like I said, I had my cell phone and then I had it close to my speaker too, you know, because I had it holding it up to the
Oh,
computer.
I honestly thought that might be the transmission from the ant and the fiber.
And
I know what
no,
I thought.
hold on, I'm gonna unlock the door. George is
Okay.
home.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up if you tried, guys. And I've watched this a million times myself with keep your insects out sometimes. Look at your insects on the ground. I mean, just pay close attention. Now, you know, they're going to be small, microscopic sometimes, but your phone, if you've got an iPhone, zooms in really well. Hey, start paying attention because the stuff is everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. And I know I'm not talking to our Morgellons folks here. I'm talking to, we have guests on here that are learning about Morgellons and know nothing of it. So I say that on their behalf. I urge and encourage everyone to please check it out. And you don't have to take our word for it. Like it's, well, here, right here, like this is your living proof. But I mean, we show you living proof every day and you guys still say, oh, crazy. But there's something in your head telling you to say that and have to be this little culprit here. So that's my opinion. And it's the right opinion. So you're welcome. So, but I mean, yeah, these are messing up people's minds. That's why we're treated like we are, because that's not normal human behavior. If I have a hard time being mad at people or my family for everything they've done, because I know before this, they would have never, ever treated me like they have. So that's how I know that they're infected badly, because it's not, and it's not just them. Everyone tells the same story about how their families just disown them all of a sudden. And they don't love them anymore. They find themselves alone and, you know, segregated and just literally, you know, at opposite ends of the world from another that has it. Just to keep us segregated and separated. But the truth be told is, you know, we've been treated like this, in my opinion, because these things, they're like transmitters. They form a neurological network throughout our whole entire bodily system, and they transmit information and data from one to another. And I mean, so no, I don't think half the time people, they open their mouths and the things that come out are from them. They really don't. I mean, if an ant can walk around and have no innards, as well as a grasshopper, and have no inside living, you know, nothing that would make that body, they by all means, like biologically dead, departed this world, and still walk around with a fungus inside of it, acting as if it were an ant or a grasshopper, you know, that's got to tell you something. There's an intelligence there. And that's called nanotech and fungus and viral and all sorts of genetically modified organisms. That's what they are. And, you know, whether it's our technology or whether it's alien technology or fallen angels technology, whatever your thoughts are, doesn't really matter. The technology is there. That's what we're dealing with. So whoever it came from, I think I'm well beyond who it came from. I actually already know who it came from. Yeah, that's the Satan is. What? Oh yeah, the ruler and the leader and the principality still in the air here on earth. You're welcome. So, but it's not even it's not about my opinion. What I'm telling you is, this is obviously a real thing. Humans are animals as well. Okay, insects. We're all in the animal kingdom, right? So you got the deer, zombie virus. We're all there. So not too far fetched when you talk about a zombie apocalypse, right? Algorithm. You suck. You're welcome.
All right, timer went off.
All right, so I think we're done here. That was a phenomenal video that you shared, Candy, and I think that's what I want to show everyone. That was really, really a good video. So, but yeah, not too far fetched now, is it, folks that are not Morgellons suckers? Because, like I was telling everyone, we have other people that were watching this evening. So,
well, hopefully, my nurse is watching tonight. She got to see that ant video.
Awesome! I am so thrilled to hear of the new medical industry and individuals like that you brought in. That people that That means she has a heart and a soul, and she's got love still, and that is not part of her. So, and if
No,
you are here, thank you
yeah,
for tuning in. You are a hero to us. Let me tell you, you already are.
she was so sweet, and she just like she's like, she's like, I'm so sorry that y'all get treated the way you do. I'm like,
See,
man,
and we long to hear those kind of words because we have been mistreated badly, badly. I mean, my heart will never stop. I would rather have Morgellons 50 zillion times over and over. And I don't even care what lifetime to experience the pain I felt from the outside world or my family or the medical industry. It was so painful. It's like a deep scar forever etched into my soul that will never, ever go away. It will never go. It's part of you. It's
and
part of you.
I
It's part
told
of
her she got to read that letter, Dying to Live. I was like, that's the video you need to watch. The one we did called Dying to Live. That was
That's
the
what
good
we're
one.
doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're dying
That
to
video
live.
that we did on your podcast is called
Actually, I'm just I don't even know. Sometimes I'm living to die, I feel like. But the thing is, we have an eternal home, and it doesn't matter. We just need to make the best of the best of the best while we're here. And we need to reach out our hands to others because that is the whole purpose of us being here. Humankind has just faded, and we've forgotten how to love somewhere along the way. So let's remember that. Let's remember to love and reach out to others. It's most important. Namaste, they say. I said, bye, Felicia. No, just kidding. Hope you all have a good evening, a wonderful weekend, and are blessed. Count your blessings because there's blessings around. And sleep well. Don't be afraid. We don't have spirits of fear, right, Candy?
Yeah.
She's like, nope. I chased that doctor down the hall.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna fear that 2-minute cold shower I'm fixing to take.
That's where I'm going. I'll let you
Like,
know.
crazy right
Nobody
now
is. All
talking
right,
about
guys.
it.
Love, love, love. We love you. Thank you for tuning in, and